Ricky checked the weather last night and said we're supposed to have a bunch of hot, sunny days. But somebody's getting a storm. I hope it comes over here. There's thunder and whatnot going on. It's time to check on the chickies. Ricky said that he checked on them and they were fine, but I want to check on them. Good morning! That one's sleeping hard. He's still alive though. Good morning, everybody. It's time to wake up. Everybody's fine here too. Thank God. Oh, they've dug a hole to China. Yesterday, I bet you it was those colored birds, because yesterday, these guys, they dug their little hole to China. There's a couple in it. But these guys won't do it. Only the colored guys. Before we got the chicks, it rained and filled up the floor of my coop with water, so I put this rubber stuff up to see if that helps keep the water out. And if it does rain, which that storm looks like it's coming my way, hopefully it'll give us a test to see if this stuff works. And if it doesn't, then you're going to see a couple of swimming pools in the house with a million little chicks, because I'm not going to let their little heads get wet and cold. I had to be very careful getting these in here, because obviously they're bigger than the doorway. So they had chicks in them. I just took their food and water out, and we kind of all went in at an angle. But once they got in there, they fit absolutely wall to wall perfect. So, and these are 43 inches in diameter, so it's kind of a miracle. It's really dark in here still because of the storm, but I put 2 different rabbits in these cages and just kind of stapled the chicken wire down here in the middle. It does apply pressure when I open it, so it popped a few staples out, but I thought I'd see, and I'm definitely going to have to put wire or something, because they just love to be together. Of course, these 2 pregnant mamas, it doesn't bother me that they want to be together. They seem to be getting along. Wow, this is quite a fun morning. While you guys are tuning in to your idiot boxes, I'm out here drinking my coffee, watching this storm roll in. I call it an idiot box because Ricky told me one evening, alright, I'm gonna go watch the idiot box. Because he knows I don't like television. I'm off to feed the bunnies the radish bits that Ricky didn't want. I guess they got tired of each other. They were in the same cage, and now they're in separate cages again. He's right, some of these are pretty woody. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. Well, we went to town for a few hours to have lunch and pay a couple of bills, go to the store for some canning supplies. And when we came back, I was just going around checking on everybody, and I went into the barn where the rabbits were, and she was laying on the other side of her cage, and I noticed she was kind of low on water, so I was getting her some water, and as I was leaving with her water bottle, I heard wah, 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 wah. And I look over, and in the corner on the metal next to this box were 11 babies, one of which was quite dead. And I've done some research, because I should have done research earlier, but they only eat about 5 minutes a day, and the milk is so rich that they're fine. And as long as you have quiet babies, you have happy, healthy babies. So they're being very quiet. There's 10 in there. She made the nest, but she accidentally had her babies outside of the nest. But it was pretty warm in there, so we moved her out here. We will move her back to the barn, nest and all, tonight. You're supposed to leave the nest within 5 to 6 feet of where they had them. But
Now that she's out here, she seems a lot less stressed out. And I've opened up the box and gave her some more straw. But everybody's great. I was really freaked out that she wasn't with her babies, but they're unlike most mammals, according to what I've read. They feed their babies in the morning, and then they leave them alone, and then they come back to them at night. So as long as their skin is pink, their bellies look full, not dented in, and they're quiet, then they're fine. I've moved everyone into one coop, and there's various reasons. I chose the crappy coop. 1, I can monitor their temperature. 2, I've got one cord that leads to all 3 of their heating lamps. 3, I have more space to get in and out. In the other coop, it was wall to wall, so I had to like step over the chickens. It was just, this way is going to be so much better. So now I only have to open one door to check on all the babies. And uh-oh, I spotted one with the crusty butt. So Monday, we got 4 rabbits. Tuesday, I got to know the rabbits. Wednesday, we got 162 chickens. Thursday, we lost a chicken. Then Friday, we had 10 more babies and lost 1. Or 11 more babies and lost 1. So that's much more growth than loss. So I'd say we are pretty fortunate on R&R Homestead. So thrilled. 171 babies. Gosh. Babies. And that's not even counting the big critters. 175 homestead animals. And then we have we have 2 pet turtles, and their names are Tunder and Tinder, and they look like any ordinary red ear slider. One is, when I found it, it was about the size of a quarter, and the other was given to Ricky before he met me by a friend, and he's probably 6 inches. We are growing, and I can't even fathom what it's going to be like in 5 years when we have quail, and we've talked about getting guineas for pest control, for fleas and ticks. And Ricky said he doesn't mind that they be loud. So I love guineas. I know they're loud, but they are just so handy. They alarm you whenever there's a snake or any other threat in the area. They eat fleas and ticks. They're fantastic creatures, but loud. Very, very, very loud. But in 5 years, you know, we'll have goats and guineas and quail, and who knows what's going to happen. And just in a month, you know, I've got all this stuff built. Not nearly enough stuff. I've got enough stuff built for a first year, and I've got enough animals for probably a third year or a second year, I don't know. We're moving really fast, and that's okay with me because I am loving every second of it. Just can't wait to see what tomorrow brings. Good evening. I'm really torn on what to do about the rabbits. I should have done more research before they were born instead of waiting until the day they were born, but I honestly wasn't expecting to have babies in 3 days. I was foolish. I should have done the research. Anyhow, with the chickens, I check on them every 45 minutes to an hour, from the moment I wake up until I go to bed. I've been going out there with my cup of coffee as soon as I get it, after about 10 minutes of waking up. And ordinarily, I'm the kind of person, no one needs to talk to me, nothing's going to happen until I'm finished drinking my first cup of coffee. But I've been going outside and checking on the babies first thing, and then every hour after that, or sooner. Because they don't have a mother, they don't have a hen, they don't have anyone to look after them except for me. So I want to make sure that they're in tip-top shape, and I know a lot can happen in an hour, but I've got other things on the homestead that I need to do. And I fear that a lot of people who lose a lot of chicks are doing so because they neglect them. So I've been checking on them frequently so that I can't say that they've died because I've neglected them. With the rabbits, I discovered them. I immediately freaked out. None of them were in the nest. They were fine. If I would have taken a deep breath and looked at them, I would have realized they were fine. Even though they were tangled up and in the metal, they were content. Their bellies were full, they were warm, they were pink, they were active. I did move them into the nest. I did move them out here into a ventilated area so they could get some air. That was just my, mama instinct. Protect the babies at all costs. But then after I got where I felt everyone was safe, and I was angry at the rabbit for not taking care of her babies, then I did the research, found out that she in fact was taking care of the babies. Then I settled down, I took a deep breath, I put the babies back, I put mama back, and in the morning I'm going to check them, make sure their bellies are full, and if their bellies are full and they're warm and they're active and there aren't any dead, then I will leave them alone. If there's more than one dead, it's hard to think about. Hopefully none are dead. I am going to trust Mom to take care of her babies. If she fails, I'm taking over. I understand with raising rabbits, and because of their large litters, that they don't have enough nipples and enough milk and enough time to feed all of their babies, and there may end up runts, and the runts ordinarily die. I'm the kind of person that I am going to protect them as well as I can to make sure they have as a fulfilling life as they possibly can in my custody until it is time for them to be consumed. Now, all of this, I'm a city boy. I wear Coach. I wear name brands. I shop at the mall, okay? And I started a Homestead, and I haven't killed as much as a bug since I was 8 years old, okay? Whenever I find a spider, I catch it and I let it go outside. If I find a caterpillar, I catch it, and I have killed more things since I've moved here than I have my entire life. I've killed countless Japanese beetles, and I feel like I had a choice. It's either kill them or let them feast upon my food, and so I chose to eliminate them, all of them. And I stomped on a grasshopper, and I fed it to the chicks, and they had a field day with it. I have killed so few things in my life that I can remember the things that I have killed. I remember bugs that I've accidentally stepped on. And anyone else in this world, please find someone who cannot say that about themselves. And here I am on a homestead, raising animals for the sole purpose to feed me. And, if you live in suburbia still, and you go to the store and you buy a steak, you have no idea what that cow has been through before it came to your plate. And because of the demand, animals are not treated very well. They're not treated very well. Animals are treated horribly before they end up on your plate. Milk cows, on an industrial scale, are treated so horribly that their lifespan is shortened to 4 to 5 years, and they end up being dog food. I encourage you to do some research on where your food comes from. And that's one of the reasons why I am so adamant that not only every animal on my homestead survives, but also that they are happy and comfortable and healthy. I want them to thrive here and to exist in bliss, because I do not want to consume something that has had such a terrible life. That impacts not only the flavor, but the health benefits that your food provides to you. If you have a miserable animal, it's going to have chemicals that its brain and other, glands produce into its bloodstream, and they're not good for you. I want them to have access to anything that they can within certain restrictions. I don't want them to be anything like what you would find on, say, a farm, an industrial farm to feed the masses.